But you know, with me being aligned and just doing the right stuff, even though sometimes I be wrong, I'm aligned with God. I get them signs from God.
You're human.
God might tell me to leave your ass alone. You my problem. You my problem.
Oh, he gonna move him in. Hey, he ain't gonna say nothing. He gonna
Your traumatized ass.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Starring Timothy Brown, Cool Care, TK, Brittney Carter. Shout out to the ladies.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Great Apes Cafe. We live and direct from the airwaves. I hope that you like, subscribe, share, definitely share, and leave a message, and we reply back. Of course, y'all know me as Timothy Raw. And to my left, I have
Brittney the Queen in the house.
Cool Kev, you already know.
Mr. Bring your mama EBT card here. It's time.
Not the EBT. They want to get green beans, potatoes, tomatoes, ham, hog, ball, chicken. Anyway, all that. So I want to talk about before we dive in this episode, I just want to say shout out to all the females in the world.
Yes.
This is woman. What is it?
Women's International Month.
Yes, right. It is.
And my highest belief, I'm gonna do my little clap on that, but my highest belief is every month should be a Woman International Month. If you think about it, where everybody come from? A woman. So why not? But anyway, just like
from a woman, it came from a woman, came from a
woman. So,
man.
I wanna start talking about a topic that my sis, I'm gonna put some respect on her name. Miss Brittney to my left, she definitely brought up this topic. She had a good conversation with somebody in the parking lot. And go ahead and introduce what the topic is for tonight.
We will be discussing.
I had to put on Front Street. I know.
But seriously, we had a guy that I was rapping with, and he wanted us to speak about being in relationships with traumatized women. So let me just say that men can be traumatized too. So we're not trying to say
sexist.
It's just women, but tonight we're focusing on dealing with the traumatized woman because it's not the same as the traumatized man, just to be clear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I love y'all guys.
We love you too.
I know y'all need love too.
We got love for y'all too.
But we about to help y'all out.
Well, I know one
not
thing.
you.
Well, not me. Probably
not
them.
You. Maybe.
Probably them.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe I learned something from this. My cup is never full. I always have like a half cup. You know what I mean? And if I have a full cup, I'm pouring that cup in a bigger cup. But let's talk about that. The traumatized woman. When I think about that, when I first hear that, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It's like weird, but I actually think about my mom. She actually had been somewhat traumatized, and
what type of trauma, Tim? Like what you mean by?
Like I don't know for certain 100%, right?
Okay.
But I know that my parents, they loved each other, but they had what I would say is the most. How should I put it? It's the most toxic relationship I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm not, Dad, if you've seen this, I love you, but you know what it is. I mean, think about it. My mom was the aggressor, cuts all over my dad's body, da-da-da-da-da. And I won't go so much into detail, but she had to go through some trauma, some form of trauma to actually take that abuse out. And I'm not going to blame her 100%. Dad, I know your ass ain't guilty. I know you had probably instigated situations for her to actually get aggressive. So I know my mom had definitely. I'm just thinking of a lot of stuff where I'm like, yeah, she had to go through something. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
But she didn't have the necessary help, to actually go through it. She used to be codependent on drugs, which what a lot of people do. Even they do it and don't even realize they're doing it sometimes. But that's not the way of fixing that. So. But yeah, she was traumatized.
That's your first thought.
That's my first thought. This is all just a guess, because of course, you really don't know unless if you sit down and talk to somebody about it. But my mom had to go through something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Is your relationship, is your marriage the only relationship that you've been in?
no.
Okay.
No.
So
Shout
have
out
you,
to all my old relationships.
so have you dealt with a girlfriend that you felt like might have had some trauma?
Absolutely. Yes.
What about you, Kev?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't gonna say no names, but you know, like I like to talk. So like I found out things like a lot of females go through like harsh stuff, like they might get raped at a young age, you know, and stuff like that. It's so hard to like you know, it's stuff like that. It's never erased out of a mindset, you know. So like building with somebody, you got to be, you know, like genuine, you know. I mean, it just like I ain't saying building with somebody like that, like, but just from the perspective of traumatized, like
they went through that.
It's hard. It's hard for them to really like express themselves, or you know, like they don't know. Like it just make them on the edge all the time, and then you trying to let people know, like, man,
right? Or they guard up.
Like I'm trying to, I'm not trying to do nothing crazy. Like I'm trying to, you know, take you places, do things with you, you know, have fun.
Right.
And then I make a lot of friends sometimes because I just like, you know, people like that, man. I love trying to like talk to people and help them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But as far as a girlfriend wise, it's hard.
Especially
it's
if they
hard,
got a dysfunctional ex. You know, that type of...
It's different as a friend.
It's a lot of factors, though. It's a lot of factors.
I'm a build a woman factory.
I'll
be honest. Like,
what you mean build a woman factory?
In the sense of like I have a heart for a broken person. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, if there's anything I can do, I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? And it just so happens it's the most broken ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it just,
Think you a healer?
It don't always.
hey, heal when they feel, and then you know what I'm saying. And but then, you know what I'm saying. But what is that? That only goes so long. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm even it turns from being it's a sexual thing to an intimate thing to a committed thing to a, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you still haven't diagnosed the issues. You know what I'm saying? All you're doing is just playing the fantasy.
Diagnose the issues. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So I want to just say that what separates us, in my opinion, and what makes it so hard for a woman that's been through trauma to become successful in it is because, like you just said, like when you go through something, it's like an emotional blockage. And the truth is that in order for us to be in clear perception, clear thought, clear in decision making, you need to be able to be in tune with how you feel as a woman, because your emotions are your guidance system, right? So when you go through trauma and you shut down emotionally, now you've disconnected from yourself. So it's almost impossible for somebody else to come along and to fix whatever the issue is, because what that person sees is what the behaviors from the trauma, and they don't know how to get to the bottom of what the issues really are.
Right. It's like then it's y'all guys, then it's it's like y'all men, y'all guys, and then you be like, nah, not y'all, because I ain't like
right. It's the perception is
it's
distorted.
the perception of the y'all.
But when you get to like I said, diagnosing the issue, like what do you? There's only so much I can do. I'm not there. I'm not a
but that's when therapy.
I'm not a therapist and none of that.
Right.
So,
but the before you even get to anywhere near diagnosis, the most important thing is having accountability and acknowledgement that there's even a problem there in the first place. You have some females and men who don't even acknowledge that they have a problem. My mom was that
Sometimes
person.
they don't know.
Sometimes they don't know.
I mean, like if
That's
you live your entire life with the same behaviors and nobody's ever
called
really
you out,
directed it, or not even that, nobody's ever been able to like really sit down and give you the knowledge of what your issue is.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, I can personally say that because I have been a traumatized woman. I don't look at myself like that now, but it has taken me years to undo a lot of the behaviors that I had in the past. Like he said, his mom, he was cutting his daddy up. Like
I mean, cuts
I did
all over
a few things like that. Like my first baby daddy, God rest the dead. Like I hit him with a car. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was 5 years old. My mom cut the man from one side of the belly to the other side, and I saw his intestines. Right.
Yeah.
I'm 5.
That's tough.
That's tough. It's a lot.
And that's a lot on you as a man.
But when you really think, I mean, now that I'm older, it's not really. Like if you really think about the world, if you really understand like geopolitics and what people really go through, people getting abducted every day. I mean, crazy shit that's happened in the world. What I saw is absolutely nothing. It's a vacation compared to what's going on in the world right now.
That may be true, but that's still a little like that makes you feel that it's not that bad when it really is.
It could be a little bit of that. Maybe
the setting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Set in,
for
like,
me, but see, if I see it as like, oh my gosh, it's the worst thing. I can't believe, this happened to me. But
then it would hit you. As
it would hit me like right as emotionally should. But I don't have.
But it's a setting in your mind that you know what I'm saying.
Maybe that's my defense mechanism.
It was normalized. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You were desensitized to it.
I was very desensitized. It's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's a lot of shit. I mean,
but you need an outside source to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying.
Right. I'm desensitized.
I figured that out. Like I can't build nobody. Like people are who they are, and they're gonna be that whether I'm here or I'm gone or the next person is in it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to get to the root of your own issue outside of yourself. Oh my God,
that's what I was gonna say.
Right.
So to me, it's like the first question I always ask myself now is, what is it about me that attracted this person? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at your behaviors, but I have a clear understanding that I am a magnet. We all are.
Right.
And we are all made and vibing off of a frequency of our own.
And even opposites attract.
And even opposites attract. But believe me, there's something in that person, about that person, that is mirroring you. So when you start like...
That's very true. My uncle used to always tell me, Tim, be very careful of who you associate yourself with, because they are nothing but legs to the octopus.
Or like most men, you see what most men want is what they see in their mother. Real men.
Very much so.
You know what I'm saying? Not the manipulated pimp or the
manipulator pimp probably had a manipulator mother.
Mother, right.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? Indeed. Like, just to be clear.
I can't take that away from that either.
And nature versus nurture is a very... That's the main root of the problem when it comes to trauma. It's not just how you deal with your individual pain, but how you deal with nature versus nurture. Y'all just told me earlier, well, Tim, you was desensitized, and that might be true, but maybe that's a defense mechanism. Coping mechanism of how to handle my situation based on my environment, based on not just nature, but nurturing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I know why my mom did it. She thought, the man did kind of push me, and she went she went from 0 to 1,000. You know what I mean? So what I'm getting at is, you're absolutely right. But what it come down, the main root is, how do you deal not just with the trauma, but nature versus nurture? If I know somebody who just like they've been lied to their whole life. They've been lied to about, like, example, the Holocaust. Their parents taught them that the Holocaust never happened, and of course we know that to be not true. It's blasphemous, but they've been taught that. So it's hard to learn something or unlearn something that you've been taught, something that you've been know to be true.
You just have to be willing. Like, let me tell you something.
Have to be willing.
I had to wash myself of a Bible. You know what I'm saying? Something that every person to say is the greatest book in the world. That book was written by men.
66
men with
books.
The same needs and the same wants that I had. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, started by the Catholic Church.
And honestly kept people in their place. You know what I'm saying? Like
66 books in the Bible.
I had to wash myself of
and not
things.
one person, not one female said a word.
You have to be willing.
You have to be willing. Yeah. I question everything. I mean, when it comes down to religion, I question religion. I don't question God, because I don't believe he's just an accident or a big bang. I refuse to believe that. But I just question religion, because if I grew up in India, most likely I'd be Hindu. You know what I mean? So I always question everything. Yeah, but when it comes down to the trauma, each person deal with the trauma differently. But what do we do when we can't figure it out for themselves or ourselves? When it comes to females and men too, but when it comes to women, get help.
The first thing you need to do, first of all, is decide if this is really a task that you want to take on, for one. Because a lot of people will take the task on of trying to help a person heal, not really for the right motive. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm with you, we together.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to help you heal for my purpose. Like, I want you to heal because I want you to love me right. Like, I want you to heal because and that's not fair. You know, as people, we should want each other to heal because we want this person to feel whole. You know what I'm saying? We want them to feel happy
and it's even worse
joyful.
When people want to use you for that reason.
And use you for that reason.
Or they'll do you like this, right? So, like, some people be, like, suicidal. You know, man, I'm trying to tell you, I got family like this. I met people like this. These be the people that's like, you know, like they really like try to show you what being on the edge is like, you know. And you can try to show this person that, like, I'm here for you. Like, you know, I love you, you love me. I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? You trying to like.
But you can't do
that. Let me ask you a
Yeah,
question though. Let me interject real quick.
Like, to be real with you, me personally, I really don't look for that no more. Like,
right.
How do you go ahead? You could
no,
ahead.
was you about to ask a question? I'm gonna let you ask a question first.
How so like if how do you know they were suicidal? Like they just told they did
they told me.
They just told you they do it attempts.
Like sometimes you see the cuts, you know, like
they were cutters.
Like I done seen people like try to, you know, you ever had somebody try to jump out the window and you fucking like
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I might have to
technically and metaphorically.
What?
It's sad. Suicide is a sad situation.
It is.
It take me out of my
but the thing, I'm gonna tell you what happens though.
I would try, but it take me out of my element. I don't like being out of my element.
You can't, and you know what happens now is when you try to say, I'm here for you. Let me help you. You know, I'm here to love you. I'm here to whatever. Now this person that is already ill is codependent on you.
Yeah.
They looking at you for their happiness.
And
they're looking at you.
Let me tell you something. That's not a success.
It's very unhealthy because then as soon as you being a human being, soon as you make a mistake,
now you're coming down. And
now you just are tearing their life apart into pieces. You know what I'm saying? Because
she hitting the spirit right now.
Because now they dependent on you for their happiness.
And
you know what I'm saying?
You are the energy which became cancer. That's what happens in that situation.
Exactly.
It's
never going to be enough.
It's
so
never enough.
It's never going to be enough. So I have
the bad part about me. Like I'm a.
You can't do that.
I'm that.
When my mom was addicted to drugs, I said, "Mom, I want you to get clean for yourself. Don't do it for me. I'm an adult now.
Yeah,
you know, do it for yourself."
I might be the user. Damn.
I'm
just saying, like
you might need to be needed.
Yes, there it is, and I say it to people, and it's not. That's not a good thing. It's not admirable. It's just like I do the things that I do because I truly care.
Yeah,
it's beneficial.
So Pete, this wait, hold on.
But having a purpose. Go ahead.
Pause. So now you see how you're attracting these women who need you so much.
Yeah,
because it's something in you that is making you feel like you're needed, like you need to be needed in order to feel like you're. So that's a trauma in you.
True.
And even though it's not equivalent to the behaviors of them, that small subconscious thought or feeling will draw that type of person to you.
Right,
and
that's very true. And
because
on top of that, though,
work.
you got to make sure and I agree with you, 99%. This is the 1% you got to look out for. There's a difference on making sure you're needed to help the person when it comes to like relational prosperities. But make sure you're not needed for them to stand on top of you.
Exactly.
When the moment you fuck up, it's like everything fell. There's a big difference because real men love to actually fulfill being needed. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because y'all are born to be providers, right?
Oh my gosh, I made sure like this month all my bills paid. Bring food to the house. Oh shit! You know,
as soon as I'm not,
that's becoming.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a little bit of a man thing, but you got to make sure you look at that difference. Is it a man thing, or is it just me? I'm actually not helping her. I'm being there for her.
That old saying, am I beneficial?
But I'm not
beneficial.
I benefit. Right. You hit the nail right.
Yeah.
That's basically.
So this is my take on it.
Like it's not really beneficial to me to do these things. I just do it out of care.
Out of care.
Yeah.
So I got a friend and they're older. This couple, right? They're married. This isn't her first relationship. Like she has grown kids with somebody else, and her late children's father actually just recently passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But when she got in this relationship, in this marriage that she's currently in, she was talking to me about some of the insecurities that she had about herself, about her past, you know, how she was raised, you know, her body, not really being satisfied with her looks. And when she got with her husband,
I hate that she felt that way.
I hate that she felt that too, because let me tell y'all, she's extremely
beautiful. That's a societal
beautiful.
Problem, though.
Right, it is.
You know what I mean?
It is. She's extremely beautiful.
Right.
So her husband currently, and it's crazy because I was talking with them this morning. They were both at my shop.
Okay.
And the husband, what he has done for her is taught her how to love herself.
Yeah.
Very important.
Okay. So he's not saying, look, I don't want you going these places. Don't dress like that. You don't need to show your body. Like none of that. You know, she's actually had a little bit of work done on her body that he co-signed, right? Yeah. But he's like, whatever it is to make you feel good. And let me tell you, and I broke this down to a guy, and he's like, but then you have guys that'll be like, well, if I help her get too good, she's gonna forget about me.
That's
wrong.
insecurity. That's insecurity.
When you understand the dynamic of woman,
right?
That's insecurity.
This is how we work. If you feed us emotionally, right? You got somebody on your team forever. Mental and emotional stimulation is what a woman is seeking.
That's very true.
She's given her body, and she may enjoy sex, and she even may be overly sexual, right? Hypersexual.
Right.
But it's because she has a strong desire to please the male subconsciously. So she feels that she has to overcompensate with her body because she's doing this because she wants love. But if you teach a woman how to love herself, right? In turn, she's gonna know how to love you. Right?
That's very true.
And then she's gonna feel happy in her own self.
Very true.
Full in her own self. And now she looking at you like you're the God in her life.
And let me add to that.
Because you've broken that chain, you know, of her, that insecure within that person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's where you understand the truest, highest concept of dominance and submissive balance in a relationship.
That's it.
Beautiful.
That's it.
Beautiful. Like you don't understand.
Now think about that. Let's get into that then. Well, no, I got to for the ones that's, you know what I'm saying? The ones that had the hood, for the hood niggas out there, the ones that y'all know they knew what that, you know, they got into when they got there. You know what I'm saying? And the women that just so happen to be on their own professional level. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot of, you know, I got to speak for the ones that don't have that, you know what I mean? I guess a job, you know, a degree or the titles and all of that.
Persevering.
And they feel like they got to overcompensate for that woman. You know what I'm saying?
That's like, still insecurity.
It is.
It does come down to that too, yeah. But a man is a man to a form of being, you know, what we came up with was like the man is the one that puts the food on the table.
Right.
You know what
That's
I'm
very
saying?
true.
Times are different.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
You know what I'm saying? But you know.
But even women that are providers.
My wife is a stay-at-home mom.
Shout out to his wife, because I tried and I cannot.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to his wife.
More women entrepreneurs.
If she go to work right now, she will make more money than me because she's a nurse, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, but I want her to right now. It's not just I want her. It's not an I situation. We make sure we actually communicated and we want the best for our children. The best the best thing to do, especially with this COVID-19, is for her to stay at home.
Yeah. And to understand too, like that is a trauma as well. Like if a woman has become financially successful or financially independent, and I can speak for myself, right? Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that you don't want a man to come in and lead. Now, if a woman is financially independent and successful and she got a problem still with a man coming in, the right man coming in to lead, then that's an issue within her still. Right. So just because she's financially independent doesn't mean she's emotionally healthy.
Right.
Let's be clear. You can be financially independent and still be in shambles because you done just focused yourself in this area only because this didn't work. Because that's what I did. I focus myself like, oh, my love life, every time I try, it's not working. I'm going to focus myself all the way into this. But then guess what happened? I focused and zoned in all the way into this, ended up going through a healing journey, coming through an awakening, spirituality.
And don't it feel good to actually wake up?
It feels great. But you know what I realized is that the whole time that I was chasing my career, it was trauma. Right. I really did want love. I really do want love.
I feel like
I really do.
I feel like that's a lot of people in this world.
And I don't have a problem with a man coming in to lead.
Right.
I would love for a man to come in and lead. To say, hey, I'm not the only one responsible to pay all the bills at the business,
so
to
you
pay
allow
all the bills
them
at the house, to take care of the kids by myself, to run all the errands by myself, to be responsible for, and those things, it's a short list of things, but in all of those things comes a mass amount of responsibility.
Right.
And so a woman now where I am is I can say, no, yes, I'm financially independent. No, I don't need a man to come in to rescue me financially to help me pay these bills and do all of that.
Right.
No, it's because that I understand that life is truly about relationship and love and those things that we build on top of. So you making all the money, but it's not even
That's
really
not the whole
for
equation.
you. It's not. You making the money to please the people that you love.
Right.
Like
right.
I went hard because I wanted money to provide for my children.
Right.
I didn't want to be a lack at my house just because I couldn't get my love life in order. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that, you don't want that structure. If a woman says she don't want that structure or she can't deal with a man coming in to lead, then she's not ready emotionally to be in a relationship.
Right.
She's
and
still
it goes
under
both ways.
trauma.
It all comes down to communication and compromises.
Absolutely.
Like if you make it, just like your check and balances with the government, even though the government, that's a terrible analogy because the government is fucking up. But anyway, when it comes to the relationship, check and balance yourself. Like make sure you communicate,
I've heard a woman say literally like, if you're going to lead me right, don't lead me wrong.
Exactly.
So I can understand on that
man
on
isn't
a level
perfect.
like that too.
Nobody's perfect.
No. But you can see signs.
Right.
You definitely can see red flags. That's a definite.
I'm gonna tell y'all some real jokes.
I got to drink to that.
Like, now I understand that. Like, I'm gonna tell you what I did. So I spent a lot of time being single and being home. Like, a lot of people hit me up, or like say like if even if I had relations with somebody.
Relations.
Yeah, because I don't.
He's trying to be Bill.
Nah. Hold on. Let me.
I'm sorry,
Let me explain. Let me explain. So like, I done did 6-year relationships, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I had to ball down and focus on myself. Like,
there's nothing wrong with that.
I just had a girl tell me, just because the way I live, she had to fall back a little bit. But I'm like, yo, like, you don't even know I can fucking switch gears real quick. Easy.
But it don't matter because if she can't,
let me tell you something real quick though. And let me tell you something. Never change.
That's what I was about to say. Don't try to adjust yourself to fit.
Like, you know what I mean? If they can't see the good, the bad,
this is why
everything of you.
This is why I'm explaining
this.
How I'm explaining it. Because at the end of the day, like, damn,
you want me to change? In other words, you want me to change?
Like, maybe I needed somebody to like elevate my mind a little bit to help me, like. But it's the same way like we talking about like with traumatized people.
Let me tell you something.
I'm traumatized in a whole different way than
that's a whole trauma in itself. That's the creating.
She might be traumatized from somebody beating her up. I'm traumatized
but that would
from
create
the way I
trauma.
live.
If my wife is complete opposite. I'm loud. I feel like I'm the most cockiest in the room. Like I'm arrogant at times. She's opposite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, balance.
But I never would be like, oh well. Helen, you need to be more like me. Like, no, I'm not about to do that.
Yeah.
No. I'm not about to change you. I already love the person who they is.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, all of that. The ugly, which ain't no ugly. But the good, the bad, and ugly, right?
I tried to change. You know what I'm saying?
I did it.
And I do. When I came back. I came back just harder than, you know what I'm saying, I was before I stopped. I tried to change.
Let me ask you a question. I hate that when I hear that. Because when I hear like somebody trying to change, it's like, damn, you ain't like me for who I am now. You know what I mean? It's just like,
But
well,
You know how long it took me to get that awakening?
Things for the people that
that's
you.
hard. That's hard.
It took me a long time to
I
get
did.
that.
We all
sad.
do things for the people
Yeah.
that we love. Like we all do something. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
we
A
make
little
certain
differently.
compromises.
You know what I'm saying? Than
But
what
to
we normally
change
do.
who you are,
Yeah.
That's
That
why
was the
I
thing
tell
I was
everybody.
mad about when I came
Listen,
out of it.
this
You're
is the
gonna be
whole
mad
point.
at
I may not
yourself.
even agree with the I may not agree with everybody's ideology, but to change who you are, do you know what you asking? Like, think about the world we live in, y'all.
People
world
don't know
don't
what
give a
It
they're
wasn't
fuck.
asking.
necessarily terrible.
They don't know what
The
they're
world
asking.
don't give a fuck about
Yeah.
you in the first
Yeah.
place. So for me to change my anything in a sense, I can change my behavior to a certain degree if I'm doing something that could get me in trouble. All right, you telling me to get out of
but
that?
That's what I'm. Yeah,
Okay,
in
then
that
I'll
way.
make a sacrifice.
Yeah.
My baby loved me. She said I should be doing this, and
Right.
this, ABC. All right.
I was
But you
facing
telling
it,
me
yeah.
you telling me to change who I am. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you too loud, you gotta be quiet. Well, what type of loud we talking about? What type of quiet we talking about? You know what I mean? Like, it's certain things. What compromise?
If you don't like how I am,
Oh, I talk with a list. You know, I can't pronounce my S's and shit. So you want me to take a speech class because I need to pronounce my... I ain't changing that. I'ma still sound like motherfucking, not pronouncing my S's and shit.
bro, listen.
But all change isn't unnecessary
No,
change.
that's
At
not
the
that-
time,
right.
It depends. That's
yeah.
you just need to. That's why I say this is why it's good to just come into here.
Yeah.
But I
Like
would
come
say-
into alignment with yourself.
Yeah,
like
man, you
know
gotta- you gotta-
yourself enough.
Hey, I'm trying
Right.
to tell you, spend that time
For real.
in the
That's
crib,
very, very
whatever.
true.
Alone.
yeah.
Like,
definitely.
yo,
That's
go to
good.
the
Very, very
gym,
true.
go to the gym, work out, stimulate your mind.
For
You know,
real.
get your man.
That way, when somebody try to make you be somebody else and you know who you are, you
right.
know
I
you
love-
ain't got
I love me
You
some
know
me.
what you
I'm
need to
back.
change
You're
and what
right.
you don't.
I'm
You know what
back
I'm
to
saying?
me. Yeah.
Look,
no,
man, I
for
love me
real.
some me, man.
You
You know
can
it,
take
like
it or
yo.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm still just stuck. If somebody tell me to change, it gotta be something like, what do you want me to change?
Because you
know, like-
understand who you are and you're comfortable in who you
I'm-
are.
oh,
So
yeah, oh, yeah. There's some people-
so you ain't with it.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's very true.
But we talk. Let's talk about the people as myself who spent many
Traumatized.
years trying to be who
Right.
somebody wanted
how
me
did
to
you,
be.
how did you get through
Right.
that? Like what?
I got fed up. Okay, so I went through my spiritual awakening, and I was with. Okay.
How was that
I ain't gonna
spiritual-
flex. Let's be honest.
How was that spiritual awakening? Well, go ahead. Go tell you.
rough?
It was
Some
rough.
people ain't. Some
It
people
was
ain't waking
emotional.
up though.
Yeah.
People ain't
They-
waking up.
Some people will. Some people won't. If they don't, that ain't your problem.
Yeah.
You can give them the knowledge all day. If they choose not to use it, that's them. They not the one for you.
And to add on to that,
Basically.
sometimes giving them the knowledge is unnecessary. You make it worse for them. They have to learn pain.
Love me for who I
Sometimes,
am.
yeah.
Sometimes pain, tough
take me
love
as
and
I
pain
am.
is necessary.
But I mean, a little bit of knowledge about who they are.
Right.
right.
Like I can't tell you.
I did that. I did that. Remember you and homegirl? We was outside.
Yeah.
I told Kevin Kevin looked like he was mad as hell. I ain't gonna say it in front of the camera. I
Kev
would
be-
never do that.
yeah, he
but I
be
told
dealing with some stuff.
Kevin. I told
my
Kevin
dog, that's my
exactly.
dog.
Hey, this nigga was mad as hell. Like he was like, damn, this nigga right. Tim, but don't shut up. Like you know how you just tell a friend, a real friend, always tell somebody how it is.
Yeah.
And if it hurt their feelings, that's still a good thing because that
'Cause
means they ain't
truth is
lying.
love.
But-
And the
but-
truth
truth
is
is
love.
love.
That's what you got to do to traumatize people.
That's what you got to do to
Straight up.
people.
It was traumatizing.
That's what you got to do to people.
You can't sit there and try to be all nice and shit.
But the reason-
I'm gonna talk shit. I'm gonna talk shit to you regardless if I like you or not. You feel me?
But
Because
see,
I'm gonna be real.
But that same energy need to be also. I want to make sure y'all realize, my audience too. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. That same energy need to be applied in a relationship.
It
Think
does.
about it. The relationship, you got to be brutally honest sometimes with
Brutally.
yourself and your lover. You know,
Yes.
y'all want to communicate. Y'all want to do A, B, C, D. Y'all want to be the top pinnacle of your relationship and be successful financially, mentally, spiritually.
That's where
what
I am
sacrifices
now.
are you
Exactly.
willing to do to get there?
Work on
You
yourself.
know, like even me, like so, like tonight after my podcast, I might hang out with my friends tonight. You know what I mean? Is that an every night thing? No.
Hell no. Hell no.
Me neither. Me neither.
Somebody gonna be broke.
No, it's not a broke thing. It's
friends gonna use you up now.
That-
Hold
that
on
could-
now.
that could-
Those
that's
ain't
very, very
friends.
true.
Yeah, friend. Oh,
Those
see,
are
that's more.
friends.
That's where you got to be
Hey,
worried.
I ain't never
Fry
seen a friend
ends.
that didn't come with the end.
That's
you know
where
what I'm saying?
that's where you got to
Telling
be. That's where you got to be worried
you gonna
about.
find out.
That's where you
That's
got to
right.
worry
Who
about.
That's
they
right.
really is. Yeah.
No, you know your
That's where you have
terminology.
to worry about pretend gestures of admiration and hidden agendas.
There we go.
I'm just saying, y'all got to make sure you understand what you want And don't let and the biggest thing on top of that trauma, don't bring everybody in your relationship.
I want to say something. But it goes to the part I'm talking about. It goes to the part where people talking about change. So like, now somebody might want you to change, but like just because I might made a few mistakes doesn't mean that I'm not aligned.
Talk to him.
It don't matter. Right. It don't matter about what happened. But some people is just fake as hell. Some people want you to change so they can keep running over your life.
You know why? You know why though?
Keep running over your life.
You know why? Because a lot of people
they have insecurities.
They have insecurities.
They have insecurities.
Because you beneficial.
They have trauma with themselves.
I know that.
And 95% of the people you meet in this world, they don't even know themselves. They haven't sat down and really talked to themselves. I'm not talking like I'm talking like mentally know who they are.
I talk to myself every day. That's
every day.
I'm my best
friend. You need to be your best friend. That's what I'm saying. Very important. It's a lot of people that just go with the flow. They rocking Jordans. Let me wear Jordans too.
Some people
they going left. Let me go left too.
They want to pray all day, like they
doing
praying.
Talk to me.
God send me signs, and you got some people that's praying, and don't get no damn word. But you know, with me being aligned and just doing the right stuff, even though sometimes I be wrong, I'm aligned with God. I get them signs from God.
You're human.
God might tell me to leave your ass alone. You my problem. You my problem.
Oh, he gonna move you in. Hey, he ain't gonna say nothing. He gonna
your traumatized ass.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
I'm with you on that. They gonna start moving. You gonna be asking, hey boy, I ain't seen you in about a year or something. God done moved them out your life.
You heard me?
God done moved them out your life already. You
say,
know it.
I'm making changes in my life.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't heard from me, then you probably one of them. Okay.
But I will say this though, y'all. Yeah, I do want to add this component.
Too.
Make sure, because we are not the experts. If you really feel like you have a real situation with yourself, get professional help.
Dude, don't be embarrassed.
We gotta put the little thing down there.
Don't be embarrassed.
On the bottom of the screen, there will be a 1-800 number.
Yeah.
Of a suicide hotline. I'm gonna make sure my producer.
Shout out to DJ Barbarian. Is that still with the guys?
Oh, you talking about the old line? Yo, I know the line you talking about. You talking about the old boy?
No. I'm talking about my bad, bro.
Which one you talking about?
I'm talking about some guys that we use doing shows and stuff with. Is that just for like military?
No.
They still
the suicide hotline. It's not.
It's for
everybody. It should be for anybody.
It's for everybody.
Yeah.
It's for everybody.
Can I shout out somebody? Can I shout out somebody?
Go ahead.
I recently did an event at my shop called the Beauty and Black Therapy.
I wasn't invited.
It was
I wasn't invited,
for women. This event.
That's dope though.
This event.
My boy Tim gonna let you know.
This event.
I wasn't invited.
But a good friend of mine is a professional therapist and has a practice and works for Duke University in Durham.
Okay.
But she travels here also. Nice. I would love to shout her out. Shout out to April Autumn Sparks.
Yes.
Shout out to April
If
Sparks.
we could, that's a name that we could give, her information too, because she's big on the beauty and black therapy and normalizing therapy in the black community because we've been so against it out of fear of judgment. That's really what it's about. Like, I don't need nobody to know my business. I don't need nobody to know, but it's because you are ashamed or embarrassed. But you need to understand that as people, we all have different experiences that we go through that sometimes leaves us with a distorted perception. And sometimes you can be talking to yourself all day and telling yourself all the wrong shit.
Right.
All the wrong shit. Your thoughts are self-sabotaging, self-critical. Like, I used to say things to myself like, oh my God, you so stupid. Why did you do that shit?
Oh, why would you?
Yes, absolutely. And you was dumb as hell for fucking with that nigga. You knew better than that shit. Like, but no, the truth is that we as people do the best we know how to do at the time. And we gotta stop criticizing ourselves for responding to life. That's just what it is. So it's really having more grace. Like, I got to shout out to Queen Callie Rowland. She is a Reiki practitioner, sound healing therapist.
Absolutely. At some point, I need those people you talking about, you shouting out.
I work with these people and I absolutely know how well they are. I would love to have them
We need
here.
to do an episode. I'm going to let you know, like, the statistics of just suicide alone in the community, especially after what we have with this pandemic, is absolutely ridiculous.
But because you will never understand why. Okay, let me be so transparent with y'all.
You got to have what we doing right here. This is the first step.
That's the very first step.
The first step, right?
Acknowledging that there are issues.
Right. You have issues, and the other person might have issues. Not just one side.
Everybody need counseling. I think everybody need counseling.
Look, I personally had a situation this week where I was dealing with a child that was threatening suicidal thoughts, threatening.
How, if you don't mind me asking, how old was he?
11.
Wow.
His dad passed away
I'm
10 and a half years ago. He was 18 months old. And he is struggling to find himself. Okay. So he's in school, right? And he's getting in trouble. And then boom, he got to have a talk with his mom, his teachers. Now he starts trying to do better. He don't want to disappoint his mom because he's coming from a decent foundation at home, even though his dad is not there, right?
Right.
But the kids that he was hanging with prior to him trying to make these changes are now giving him a hard time. Oh, you don't want to, oh, you a punk, you a this, you a that, and you know he trying to. So now he's torn. And just to think.
But he ain't got no father figure to
exactly.
be like.
So this is where we need to be comfortable with therapy.
Right.
Okay?
Very much.
This is where we need to understand that therapy is vital for all traumatized people or all people who've been through experiences and are left with feelings that make them feel low, sad, inadequate, unloved, unhappy, jealous, manipulative, angry, bitter. You know, when you know you're experiencing these feelings and you know it. So if you really want to heal, like if you really want to make a change in your life, acknowledge that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Acknowledge that I am a human being and I'm fucking hurt. I'm fucking mad. I'm disappointed. I'm tired of the bullshit that I've been through. And maybe somebody can offer you a different perception to view the things that you have experienced.
I'm not gonna lie.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I really agree with somebody 1,000%. I agree with you 1,000%. Not just the acknowledgement, because that's the first step, but actually accepting what you actually doing, what you need to do. You know what I mean? That's really important. And 11 years old, that's a lot. When I was 11 years old,
know yourself. Like,
I mean, when I was 11 years old, I thought everybody was in the projects. Shout out to Genesis Homes, Brooklyn, New York, stand up. I'm thinking like, you know, it's the add-on to that is very, very bad to actually compare and contrast your situation to somebody else. You don't really know what somebody else is thinking and going through. So I'm not doing that. What I'm talking about is this beautiful child is 11 years old and they thinking about suicide. And just thinking about that, it's so sad. It's so sad. And I want that child to get help. I want them to acknowledge what they're going through, the pain, suffering, whatever they're going through. Trials, tribulation, all of that, and actually get the help that they need. Because I don't know the figures, but I know every year children, adults, veterans, I mean, people from all walks of life, millionaires, they like, you know what? Forget this. I don't want to live anymore. And they want to use a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And I hate that.
Because sometimes that problem doesn't feel temporary.
I know. And it's
you
sad.
know what I'm saying?
So
that problem
sad.
Don't feel temporary. And just to throw this out there, this young man in particular started spiritual therapy this week.
Great.
He will be seeing a professional therapist before the end of the month. He has an appointment. And we will be working with him on getting him on a proper diet and exercise routine.
And I'm shout out to people. Let me tell you something about exercising. Mm-hmm. When you get those endorphins pumping, when you get a runner's high, like I used to be back in high school.
I'm a runner.
I used to be back in high school. I went to States.
On top of the world.
Shout out to South Brunswick.
Yeah.
Shout out to North Brunswick High School. But
it's addictive.
Y'all don't understand them. When them endorphins,
it takes a moment like that.
The most positive people is in shape. Really think about it.
Yeah, I'm an endorphin junkie.
Oh my gosh. I skydived before, so I'm a little bit of a junkie myself. But when you get those endorphins flowing, that positivism is great. Yeah. It's dope. You know, and
that's another piece of advice to give people in trauma. Like if you don't know where to start with your physical health.
Start with your physical. That's very, very true.
Right?
Get out that.
Because when you start working on yourself physically, all that comes out. Yeah.
Feels good. Like
your perception changes.
That perception changes.
Yeah,
right.
your perception changes.
Yeah, definitely.
And another thing to add on to that, think about who you choose as your friend.
Environment.
Think about how you move in your environment.
Mm-hmm.
And, I always think about what my uncle said and my granddad said. Your friends and acquaintances are nothing but a tentacle of who you are.
Absolutely.
When my mother, cousin, and the other person, I won't say who you are. If you hanging out in a crack neighborhood and your friends are all crackheads, cocaine heads, pill heads, most likely, what are you doing? If you're not a seller, you gotta change your environment to stimulate a fundamental change in yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let somebody be like, "Oh, I'll do this." No, think for yourself.
You gotta know who you are.
You gotta know who you are. It's very important.
Know who you
it
are.
is so important. And like a lot of my friends and acquaintances and family, I'll tell them, well, that's easy for you. It's easy for you to have a strong will. You always have a strong will. That might be the case, but even somebody strong like me, talk to psychologists.
Yeah,
I mean,
need
I'm
to
glad
total.
he's doing that. And one thing is, if your friends ain't there for you, when you're good, I can't expect you to. I know you're not gonna be there when I'm doing bad. So, all right, when I'm back up again, stay where you at.
But think about
You know
us,
what I'm
though.
saying?
I want to hold on before you go in that. Hold on, I want to give a personal experience. One day I was just going through a hard time, man, and I didn't know who to talk to. I came here, and I talked to my boys. I talked to my boy Tim. I talked to my boy Aaron. I talked to my boy Chuck at the time because they was here. But man, like I felt 1,000 times better.
Tapping in with your tribe.
Oh yeah, your tribe. Oh my god.
Tapping in with your
Oh my
tribe.
god.
Getting it off my mind.
Let me tell you
somebody
something.
about it.
I'm happy you brought that up.
It's
I
like,
have to
yo.
interject. Having a conversation with somebody, getting shit off your chest, even if it's that one person, just for them to listen goes a fucking long way.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna lie. When you came, I do remember what you talking about.
When you building with people, bro, you be like,
you came
because
here.
life is about relationship, as we said.
Oh yeah, it's very important.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's just like we talking about traumatized women. If you see a trauma, get them the proper help.
I want to give y'all the secret to this though.
What's the secret,
What's the secret?
The secret is that you got to get it off your chest. Cause think about it, if I get it off my chest and my boy be like, man, you a pussy, bro. Damn, you might not be the person I need to fucking talk to.
They can't be down for
That's
you.
trauma shit.
Yeah,
That's trauma.
That's culture. That's culture.
You might not be the person I need.
That's
to really
being numb. No.
Okay,
or their situation just worse than yours, so they don't.
So
really
that's
give
their
a shit
perception.
about you.
It's not even just. It's not even just that. That may be how they handle shit for themselves.
True.
Like, if I start telling my feelings, I'm a pussy.
Mode.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
lot of-
So
that's
anybody
true.
else who I see telling they feelings, they pussies too.
Absolutely.
Like,
That's definitely some niggerism.
it is.
That's some niggerism.
It's trauma.
That's
Like you said, it's passed down. How does that happen? How does that happen?
generation.
It could be.
Scientists identified certain cells that's also found
I
in the
love
fetus.
scientists, but let me
That's
say
found
this.
in the. Think about like this. Think about how energy works.
Think about you carrying that baby in your womb,
That's from that woman perspective.
in that body that's carrying energy.
Think about the spermates in the scrotum. I know I'm doing a little bit too much. I know you're like, oh,
No.
I'm doing the most.
You doing it.
That when you think about before fertilization even happens, that DNA carries information. Tons and tons of combinations. Billions of combinations of information. And along with that information is the trauma.
Energy.
I talked to a Caucasian colleague of mine, and you know who you are. I love you. I got the highest respect for you. But when you really think about it, he asked me, he said to him, why so much black people in the community is angry? And I said, that's a good question. And I showed him an article on Google that talked about how trauma is passed down from generation to generation.
Epigenetics.
Thank you. And he literally was like his eyes bigger than them, like he was like, yo, I understand.
It blows my mind that the Caucasian, some of the Caucasian community still ask that question.
It is. It
Well,
does.
first of all,
and not all of them. Not all of them did that though.
They didn't see it.
Not all of them.
Just those who,
some
they didn't see it.
A lot of them don't see it though. It's almost like, I'm gonna give you a prime example. Even today, I'm gonna give you an example of a black person. I had a black person. They said, "Tim, why do you had that Ukraine thing on your podcast on the bottom saying donate to Ukraine? That's not your war. That's white people war." And I said, I had to think about it. I said, I have 2 children. I have a wife. And they are families over there, regardless of what the fuck their color is, who are being slaughtered. And you want me not to even have any formality of help for them
or care
or empathy or sympathy, whatever the fuck you don't want me to have none of that because of the color of the skin.
But I want to say this to you, Tim, because I've been thinking about something that you've been saying to me for a while now. And you're going to know as soon as I roll it off. The Ku Klux Klan is able to sit back and eat popcorn because their grandsons and everybody else can connotate that Klan robe to knowing that it has nothing against them. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like how we as black people, even children, can connotate a noose to their people being hung on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I thought about what you said for a long time. Like, don't get me wrong, it hit me like that. But the Ku Klux Klan can sit back and do what they do because their children, their great-grandchildren know that motherfucking robe will never kill them.
And shout out
will
to
never hurt them. Will never do anything against them other than what we already know.
Right.
That Klan robe is completely against us.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you really think about it, I'm not worried about the Klan. I'm worried about where the fuck they get their robes washed at.
Right. You think about it. Right.
They take off the robes. Not every Klan member has. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Let's really think about it.
I don't have any answer for that. My watch over here. I don't have the answer for that.
Because I'm thinking about
Siri don't know.
Yeah.
You know, when you really think about it, you know, like, if we think about it like on a macro perspective,
there's a system there.
But no, yeah, but
if you think about on the
had to
be created in order to do what was done.
Perspective, though, we are Homo sapiens, right? But the system wants to create separationalism,
division.
They don't like when I look at humans. I just think about humans. I don't think about black or white.
The only thing I've ever seen was separated was white from color.
That's not true.
No, I'm saying that on a level where it was literally whites and colors.
But what is now, what's more now is not just separationalism. It's the concept of control.
Then we can go back.
It's been that.
Then we can go back to interracial.
From the beginning.
That's just pieces of what it come down to control. It's all about the control concept. Let me control how you think.
Right.
The system doesn't want a black person and a white person to link up and create positivism. They don't want that. They want you to hate. Let's get black people and white people against each other again, which stupid. Let's get Democrats and Republicans against each other for again, like not again, but you know, for the concept of separation.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, think about it though. I talked to a couple who got a divorce because their wife voted for a Democrat and they voted for a Republican. And you know exactly who you are. And it hurted me to know that y'all had to do that.
Wow.
And you know who you are. I'm thinking like, yo.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hate.
Think how
it was that big.
We live in a world of separationalism. When people talk about trauma, it's worse now. It's trauma is exacerbated.
That had to be like the last straw.
I hate
like,
that
you know what,
Asian
motherfucker? I'm so tired of your shit. Hey, you gonna vote Republican? Get the fuck out of here.
I hate that there was an Asian hate bill before there was an anti-lynching one. Let's talk real.
I had a friend of mine that said, well, and you know who you are, he's a Caucasian.
Let's be real.
Why do you think black people need their reparations? I said, well, the Japanese.
Come on, that says it right there.
Hold on, listen. I said, listen now. I said, now Reagan gave the Japanese their reparations when we had concentration camps in America, but nobody want to talk about that. And he didn't
Germans
know.
got theirs
Ignorance is bliss.
Being able to leave Germany.
Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is so bliss. It's so many people, they in a bubble. I can literally live in my own bubble. Let's say,
but my country had an anti-lynching hate bill after an Asian hate bill. We keep it real
because we know that the system was set up against us from the beginning.
You said be real, but there's so many people in their own information bubble that they don't want to learn anything about anything else. True. Think about that. I talked to this Caucasian person. You know who you are. And they didn't want.
You can't ask.
They didn't want to know. Like when I told them that, they was mad that I told them that Japanese got their reparations before us. They was like, "How dare you even know that?" You know what I mean? That was the ideology I got from them. That was the imprint energy I got from them.
Man, like how the fuck talk to these people?
Oh,
I love these conversations.
It's hard conversation, but it's conversations that we need to have. Yeah. And when it come down to trauma is so easy. I had a friend, Aaron. You remember him, Crease? I won't say your whole name. Crease, I always used to thought I went through the most pain, right? And this is where I guess I became more numb because pain is really a perspective.
It is.
But pain is necessary. I had to go through my pain.
Mm-hmm. Pain.
Maybe that's also how I sleep at night. You know what I mean? I accept my pain. Therefore, I utilize that same energy for a positivism and not a negative.
Because you had the capability to compartmentalize what was real based off of what your emotions were and have emotional control enough to make a conscious decision.
Right.
You took the pain and said, this don't feel good, but I'm not about to lay in it. I'm just gonna work myself up enough and work through it and create something better.
Right. Because I always thought I went through the worst shit. Like I saw a lot of crazy shit.
For you to have two traumatized parents, you're doing phenomenally well.
But what I learned is when it comes to the whole situation of trauma, and I guess that comes with a form of emotional intelligence, right? I met this friend of mine named Chris, and his dad is a doctor, and his parents lived in a village in Nigeria, in Africa. And there was tribal war. Y'all think there's gang war here, Bloods and Crips and all the other gangs? You have absolutely no idea what's going on over there in Africa, in different countries.
In other countries.
Where 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, and 9-year-olds have AK-47s, right? So they robbed the village and murder everybody in the village. And Cree's uncle he picked him up and threw him on the back of a Nissan truck. And after he threw him on the truck, his family got killed. He saw his mama got lit on fire. He saw all the situations. He saw death. Like I saw death too, right?
Yeah, me too.
He saw death. He saw his mom got lit on fire, screaming, burning, flesh, the smells. Yeah, I always used to think I went through the worst shit. I ain't went through anything. You saw your mom got lit up on fire.
So
you saw your
experience
uncle
is what gave you your perception.
Experience, perspective of my pain, and I unconsciously I didn't mean to, but I unconsciously compared my pain to his, and I said, "Well, shit, I had a vacation then."
Right.
He compared to his. Like I'm like, and he's able to be a productive person. He went to UCW, graduated with honors, and exactly, Crease. I have the highest respect for you. And I'm thinking like this, like I ain't went through nothing. Like I'm from the projects. Parents used to be addicted to Coca-Cola, no soda. But who in the 80s wasn't doing Coke in the 80s?
Okay.
My parents. I started really thinking about that. I'm like, I'm from the projects. Is the projects really bad? Where my friend Crease come from a house with no plumbing, dirt rugs, mosquitoes come in. You got possibility of malaria. You got possibility of cholera and other pathogens. I'm thinking like, when I start thinking about that, I ain't went through shit.
Right.
He literally lost his family, the majority of his family on the concept of war. And it's so similar to my situation in New York, seeing friends and family go through the concept of gang violence.
Do you know if he had any type of professional help at all?
Yes, he did. He did. Yes, he did. His dad is a doctor. And he definitely ended up talking to a psychologist, and he got through it. And his situation, even he don't think he went through the worst, because other people went worse situations, worse than him. I'm like, well, what's worse than see your mom smelling her burning flesh? Like, let that sink in. A lot of people, and especially the young generation, and I'm not knocking you because I'm listening, but the young generation, they hold on to the trauma in the past, right? And they're like, oh, why me? Nah. and I'm not knocking you. Yes, you do need to talk to help if you don't know how to handle that yourself. But when you think about it on a geo ideology, it's like, yo, you ain't really went through shit. And I'm not judging you. But when it comes to different countries, when it comes to different like situations, pain, I really have a terrible belief that pain is necessary.
That's still an open knowledge though. Like you actually had to see and experience and go out and meet other people and be open to communication and open to other relationships with people. Like even if they're not your everyday people.
His pain was my...
It's not sad because I've been through some shit, y'all. You know, like sexual abuse from like the age of 8 years old.
See, I didn't know that.
I've been in the streets. I've done a lot of shit. Like I've been through a lot. I've been busted in the head with bottles. I've been shot at. My car shot up by my boyfriend. Like all kind of stuff, right?
Right.
I done robbed, did all of that. At the end of the day, when it came time for me to as I grew older and I started getting out, going other places, meeting other people, just like you said, that was exactly what opened my perception up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then I think about my mom, who's been through even 10 times more shit than me. And then I think about her mom, who went through even more shit than she went through. So for me, it was so for me, it was like, nah, like this shit was fucked up for me, but it's getting better, right? Because my grandma's shit was so fucked up. And then she had daughters and they shit was fucked up, but it wasn't as bad as hers was. And then I came along and my shit was not as bad as my mom, you know? So it's like, and then when you see the growth, even though you still go through this bullshit, you understand like, I can overcome this because I see other people that are going through shit that's worse than me. So even though I don't know how to overcome this, let me figure it out. And as soon as you cast that desire out there, because energy is real, and law of attraction is real. As soon as you cast that emotional desire out there that you know you want this change, then naturally you start to attract more people that teach you the things that will help you get that change, whatever that may be, whatever your journey is to healing. You know what I'm saying?
And they gotta want it. They gotta, like, because I remember like easily, like I had to been the last time I got in trouble. I'm like, I need to go through a change. Like I'm like. Because it's like the type of trouble where it's like, I know better. You know, it's like that type of trouble like, damn, you sit back and you self-reflect and you look at yourself, like, I mean, on every single level, spiritual, every level. You're like, I could change this. Like, this can't define me. I need to redefine myself. It's awareness. High self-awareness.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is happening to bring me awareness.
Right.
Now I see what I need to change. Instead, you have people that shit happen and they take it as the worst shit in the world.
Right.
But I like how you say that because that's something that I say is something that I teach my children. It's something that I tell other people too. Like, no, shit is not happening because life is just so fucked up to you.
Right.
Like, life don't hate you.
No.
Shit is happening because it's awareness of what you need to correct for yourself to get you in proper alignment. So if I say, oh, you know, damn, every time I try to go here, like it keep falling apart. Every time I figure out what the fuck you got going on that's causing these discrepancies. You know what I'm saying? That's causing these negative things to occur. It doesn't mean you're wrong or you're bad or you're doing anything wrong. You're just having to unlearn behaviors, old
and that's the hardest thing to do. That is so hard to unlearn something.
But it's realistic.
Right, it's
very realistic and necessary.
Right. Oh yeah.
You want to unlearn. I wanted to unlearn 400 plus years of religion that was drilled in me from childhood. I go to Sunday school every Sunday. I go to church every Wednesday.
The religion right there.
I'm there on Saturdays for youth programs. I'm here and it's been pounded in me, not understand until I went in to say and did my own research. Well, who taught them this? Well, who taught them? Well, who taught them?
And why there's certain books that's blocked? And why this thing
right, you know, but it takes to unlearn something is not as hard. It's only hard when you're resistant to unlearn.
Unlearn. And I agree with you 1,000,000,000%. And
$1 trillion?
Trillion.
Woo! We need a bell in here because he just said that he rarely grew up.
We gotta check your point system.
That's it.
I be purposely, I ain't gonna lie, I be purposely trying to find ways like, do I agree? Nah, because it's a lot of, and you know who you are. Just because you go to church every Sunday don't mean you have a
them the holy rollers
in the promised
them
land.
I catch first
the one with
church.
the hats in the front and they looking like, look at that dude over there wearing that. Look at him.
They the first
Let
one
me
at
tell
the
you
liquor
something
house.
real quick. Let me tell you something. I question religion based on the simple fundamental practice of where you at geographically.
Let's throw this disclaimer out because my brother Tim is a phenomenal spiritualist. So for those that don't understand, there's a complete difference from religion and spirituality.
Oh my gosh.
So he's not talking about questioning
No, I'm not.
Spirituality.
No, I'm not talking about spirituality.
He's what he's questioning is the
the
structure that's been created.
indoctrination
Right.
Of literature and ideology and of a system that didn't even recognize black people up until what? The 1900s?
I found my original religion. I just believe. I mean, I'm a Muslim though. I mean, that's what I believe in. That's what I hold true to. That's my peace.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. You know,
Alaikum
I better not be seeing you eating pork. This is Great Apes Cafe.
Okay.
Like, subscribe, share, and definitely leave a comment.
Hey, rest in peace, Johnny Greer, first black referee, man. God damn NFL, man. Johnny, they should have had you in that last game, boss. They threw 20 flags on that goddamn Super Bowl.
Good.
Man. I'm out of here. Hold on.
Wait. Shout out to all women again.
All women. I don't know
because
what
this is Women's International.
Before we actually
make sure
clarify this correctly, shout out to all the queens out there who's actually holding it down, doing what they need to do. I love our women. I have respect for our women. And I hope that y'all like, subscribe, share.
Yes.
And, shout out to the queen on this podcast. She doing her damn thing, holding it down with keeping it real. I mean, damn, I'll be trying to find things to disagree. And this woman, damn, hold it down.
Hey, I just want to tell all the traumatized people, man, follow the steps, man.
We love y'all.
Self-analyze.
Accountability.
Talking to this get it off your chest, man. It don't matter who it is. If they either gonna tell you some good shit or gonna tell you bad. Just follow the steps.
Follow the steps.
And I don't know where everybody came from, but I came from a strong woman.
That's right.
And I'm just letting y'all know this is Women Awareness Month. On the bottom of the screen, there will be a 1-800 number for anybody who's suffering from suicide, even if you're a man too. Call that number. If
y'all can call me, man. Call your boy Ken.
Hey, and for anybody who is out there that is under trauma, that feels alone, that feels like they don't have anybody,
right?
I just want to say that, believe me, somebody loves you. Okay? Somebody loves you. Don't seek love outside of what you have. Like, you got to look around and pay attention to what's going on around you, especially if you have children. Right? If you have children, somebody loves you. Your children love you from your hair follicles to your toenails. You can make a million mistakes and your kids gonna love you. You got family, friends that love you.
If that child go in that bathroom while you taking a dunk and they still okay smelling your shitty ass shit, they love you.
It's love. It's love. It's love. It's love.
You smell like don't
call that 1-800 number if you really do have some issues. He said earlier, call him. Nobody want to call him.
Man, call your boy.
Kev is a good
I've been
conversation.
traumatized, man.
Kev is a good conversation.
This is Great Apes Cafe.
Holla.
Deuces. Oh my gosh, I love that episode.
Yeah, that was dope, boy. That was dope, boy.
Hey,